Friends, it's T Mun. We back again with a brand new video. And in this video, we're gonna do a reaction to our good friend here, Abbey Sharp. Bro, I remember making videos about her on my old channel. Man, I made some funny ones where she was going insane because she really is sick and insane. Most likely the diet's causing it. But anyway, so we're gonna react to this. I don't even know what to call her. Nutritionist slave or something, which is just fake anyways. The nutrition slave, Abbey Sharp. So Abbey Sharp says, Joe Rogan show reveals Jordan Peterson's shocking carnivore diet. Your girl has some big thoughts. Okay.
Oh, that's a hard no for me, dog. Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. Today's video is sponsored by...
I have some news for Abbey Sharp. There's no such thing as carnivore diet. All humans are carnivores. That's why they're all eating meat. Now, if you're just eating meat and you're not eating any of these fake foods, then that would be an elimination diet. There you go. And one more thing to, which is healthy, which is based on health. Eating meat is based on health because there's no deficiency in nutrients and there's no toxins or sugar in there. But anyway, as far as, and then I'll educate you, Abbey Sharp. So vegan diet is not based on health. It's based on, we want to save the animals because we don't want to kill them. So we rather suffer and eat food that is deficient in amino acids and nutrients, so we can suffer, so we can save the animals. So vegan diet is really not based on health. You understand me? When you talk to vegans, they don't base their diet on health. They base it on the fact that you shouldn't be eating animals because they should not be killed. They have rights to live and survive and roam the planet. See, in other words, nobody should eat animals, not even animals that eat animals. They don't have the right either to eat animals. You understand me? You understand? Okay, now that we got that clear.
Seed, and we'll be taking a look at controversial psychologist Jordan Peterson and the carnivore diet. But first, let me tell you about my sponsor, Seed.
Again, there's no such thing as carnivore diet. Anything that you're eating outside of you as a carnivore animal, anything that you eat outside is considered a diet. See what I mean? You are a carnivore. But anything you eat outside is considered a diet. See, I have to educate people like you. I mean, and you're a nutritionist and you don't know this? This is incredible.
So I talk about the importance of gut health all the time, and a lot of people ask me my opinion on pre and probiotics. So
yeah, and our gut health. Our gut was made to process meat or animal products. You know, organs, whatever, blood, this, that, whatever, milk. It was made to do that. You're not really lactose intolerant. What happens is you have a leaky gut or a destroyed gut because of the inflammation and oxalates and toxins that are in these fake plant foods, which are not meant to be in your stomach because they're just fermenting, and that gas that's coming out is actually toxins being released.
Probiotics are, of course, the good gut bacteria,
yeah.
And prebiotics are the food that feed the bacteria.
Yeah, and where do you get those from exactly? You get them from animal products, dairy products. Give you those. That's where they come from. Abbey Sharp.
But both are important for a healthy microbiome.
Yeah.
So I like Seed's daily...
One other thing, because these companies that produce the milk that is pasteurized, you're lacking in a lot of these bacterias, these good bacteria, because they killed them in the process. So you're not getting them in natural, as you know, in raw milk. They're in there, but you're not getting them. Anyway.
Biotic, because you get both a pre and a probiotic in one capsule together with 24 clinical...
I mean, look at this. What is this? Like some kind of fake prebiotic, probiotic? Made out of plants? I don't think so.
Clinically and scientifically studied strains. The way they've engineered their capsule ensures 100% delivery of the probiotic to your colon, so you really do reap the benefits.
Here's the thing, why would you need that if you can get that from dairy products, animal products?
Most probiotics end up dying in your stomach acid, so if you've taken a probiotic...
This is an unnatural process. She obviously must know this. It's an unnatural process, but she doesn't really care about your health. She just wants to push the product so she can make money. That's the whole point. So here's the thing, if she really truly cared about your health, then her channel could not survive. You understand me? Would not survive, because the way people are in this artificial environment, they live in these cities. To try to push something natural, it's unacceptable. They see it as being very strange. Like Abbey Sharp, she thinks she's a carnivore diet. This is oh my God, you know what I mean? The moment you explain to people about something natural, they get crazy. She's crazy, but my God, you want to eat animals, natural food like animals? Oh my God, carnivore diet. No, we all want to eat these artificial plants that we've engineered on these so-called farms, which do not exist out in nature. Abbey Sharp, yeah. And we want to cultivate and make these, pills and things out of them and then swallow them daily.
Before and felt no difference, it's likely because it just wasn't surviving the harsh environments of our GI tract. So seed is different in this regard. Now, we have evidence that a healthy gut with an optimal balance of good bacteria can help digestive issues like...
Yeah, you want to know where it comes from? Dairy products, providing they haven't been pasteurized and destroyed in the process.
Bloating and constipation, immune health.
Yeah, that bloating and constipation, want to know where it comes from? It comes from these plants, the fiber and the toxins that come along with the fiber, they're anti-nutrient. That's what's causing it.
Heart health, skin health, and so much more.
Yeah. Animal products, they are good for your skin. You can put them on your skin too, the beef tallow. See what I mean? Anything that's animal is going to be better for you naturally. Anything that is plant is going to, you put it on these chemicals and things, you put them on your face, they age you. They do their job, they age you. So then you think, oh my God, I'm aging, so I got to go buy more of it. So then you buy more of it, it ages you more, and then you just buy more of it, and you keep doing that. Here's the thing, it's crazy that people don't realize that these plants are making them sick. So then they're like, I have to eat more of them because I'm getting more sick. But they don't realize the plants are making them sick. And then they're like, I have to eat more of it because I'm getting sick. And then they start eating more and more and more of it. And then they get even more sick. And then they end up getting a disease or a metabolic disease or whatever, maybe even cancer or something, whatever. Because they continue in that behavior. They just keep eating more of it. They're not even thinking about that this is what's the cause of it. Until they stop doing it. And when they stop doing, they realize, oh, that was the cause of it. You know what I mean? But by then, it may be too late. I'm not sure, really.
I also love that they're sustainably delivered every month. So you get a refillable glass jar with your first purchase. And the monthly
I don't want to know.
Or previous experiences with disordered eating.
Oh, thanks.
Politics today, because I have enough to talk about with his endorsement of the carnivore diet on the Joe Rogan.
My God, his endorsement of eating natural food. My God, that is horrendously terrible for the public. Yes, Abbey Sharp.
Show.
How dare anybody promote something that's healthy and natural in this day and age, right? This artificial environment.
I know. A lot of spice in one
know.
Sentence right there. No, but seriously.
I got questions for you, Abbey. How's your sex drive? You're looking pretty aged already. How's that fake diet doing for you? Look at your arms there. The skin is kind of lumpy. I mean, you have cellulitis. You're aging. You're accelerated aging, man. You're deteriorating faster than you're aging.
If you are wondering what the you eat on a carnivore diet, well, according to...
What do you mean, what the F do you eat on a carnivore diet? You eat animals, that's what you eat. The organs, you eat everything. The blood, the skin, this, that. They make everything out of animal products. What are you talking about? And seafood as well. That would be considered, you eat that on a carnivore diet. Shellfish, fish, whatever, seafood. They're amazing. It's amazing for you.
Jordan Peterson.
I eat beef and salt and water.
Buckle up.
Okay, I don't agree with the salt. Humans should not be eating salt. But hey, beef and water. But I don't know why he's not eating any seafood. He hasn't mentioned any seafood. I personally eat a lot of seafood, and I eat a lot of meat and organs. So, yeah, I don't have any problems.
Babies, let's dive in and debunk some of the pro-carnivore claims he makes on the show. Claim number one, the carnivore diet results in weight loss.
Then I lost 7 pounds the first month. Then I lost 7 pounds the next month.
Yeah.
Then I lost 7 pounds the next month. I lost 7 pounds every month for 7 months. It's like I had to throw away all my clothes. I lost 50 pounds. I'm nowhere near as hungry as I used to be. My appetite's probably fallen by 70%.
So this weight loss definitely does sound extreme, but not that surprising.
What do you mean extreme? He lost bad weight, the cause of eating carbohydrates. They'll always make you fat. The moment you spike that insulin, it's really bad for you. You're going to put on weight.
When you really think about it. So for one, this diet is just fat and protein, which are two macronutrients that are very satiating because they delay stomach emptying and digest slower than, let's say, simple carbs. Also, a diet of literally just one food or food group with no sauce or garnishes, side dishes, etc. is going to get so boring and monotonous that it's pretty hard to overeat. A lot of folks would just end up eating the bare minimum to keep the hunger.
Yes, Abbey Sharp. The bare minimum, yeah. I think the alternative is better, right? We should eat these plants that are filled with pesticides, glyphosates, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and I don't know what other chemicals. I can't remember right now. There was a story about this chemical that causes you to become infertile, sterility. Maybe they're doing it on purpose. The American government, who the hell knows, man? Maybe they don't want people to have kids anymore. I'm not really sure. I just simply avoid any of these things. There's no point in doing it because it's unnatural to do them, Abbey Sharp. But of course, Abbey Sharp promotes unnatural things because that's the point. That's where she makes her bread and butter, her money.
Pains at bay, because eating like a second porterhouse is probably going to seem like a huge chore when you've already had a T-bone for lunch. And while I would argue that all fad weight loss diets are unsustainable, the carnivore diet really takes the cake. For one, it's expensive as to meet 2,000 calories in steaks, you're looking at least $25 or more per day. Second, you have very little opportunity for any socializing around food. Unless you're dining in a steakhouse where they're cool with you swapping out your potato for a side of salt, it seems you're pretty much doomed to just dine alone at home for life.
There's been a mistake. You've accidentally...
Yes, my God, how horrible. You're going to dine alone at home. Man, I eat out all the time, and it's always animal products and seafood. I don't know what she's talking about.
given me the food that my food eats.
And three, there are a whole host of not so sexy side effects that I'm going to speak to in a moment. Not to mention, when you inevitably throw in the towel on this miserable exercise, you'd not only gain all the weight right back, but you'd also probably be faced with overwhelming digestive problems as your body is forced to really quickly upregulate all of the enzymes that were suppressed from your mono-meal lifestyle. And
What enzymes?
Is weight loss really so important when your health and legit life is at stake?
Yeah, weight loss is very important because life was in jeopardy. It was important, yes. What the hell is she talking about? She makes it seem like it's not important.
No pun intended. We know that a diet that's very high in red meat is associated with increased risks of colorectal, breast.
Really? So how did previous people in the last generations for over hundreds of thousands of years, how did they overcome this problem, Abbey Sharp? My God. Colorectal and all these, oh my God, it's associated with diseases, natural food, my God. But I know plants are not associated with any of those things, right? Huh, okay.
And prostate cancer. And we also know that ultra-high protein diets...
I love that one, prostate cancer. Red meat. All meat is red, isn't it? I don't know. Is it red? Maybe it's from the nitrates. Maybe that's what they meant by red meat. Meat isn't really red when they cut it. It isn't really red. They put nitrates on it, so they make it look red when they package it. So maybe she's talking about plants called nitrates, and they throw it onto the meat. So it's the nitrates that cause the cancer and everything else. So it's not the meat that causes that red meat, because again, meat isn't really red. So she made that up. They fabricated that. But I know what they're trying to say. They say red meat. Yeah, It's red because they put nitrates on it. Get it? And anytime it starts to turn back its normal color, brown, they throw nitrates back on it and they reshelve it. That's what they do. Yeah, they just put more nitrates on it to make it look red.
Especially those high in red meat, can strain our kidneys and increase calcium loss. While the evidence
How can it strain your kidney and attribute to calcium loss? How does it do that exactly?
on the impact of saturated fats is controversial and mixed. As I just
Controversial and mixed. You need a lot of saturated fat because, I mean, it acts as it's an antioxidant. What are you talking about, man? High cholesterol is an antioxidant. Protects you. That's what it does.
discussed in my video right here,
Here's the thing. You need a lot of omega-3 in your diet. People don't realize you need massive amounts of omega-3. It's protective and does a lot for you. Makes you very healthy. It's like it says in NCBI PubMed, it's an ancient nutrient. I mean, eventually, humans eat a lot of fish. They did eat a lot of seafood. I don't know about today, but they did eat a lot of seafood. You could attribute that to their brains getting a lot larger, but now it's shrinking. Why is it shrinking? Because you're not getting a lot of omega-3 because the animals that you're eating now, they're domesticated, and man, they're like grass. They feed them stuff that they tolerate it, like grains. That's not the food that animals should eat, is grain. But they feed them grain. They don't feed them grass all the time. So they feed them grains, and then sometimes you see them in the market, they're grain finished. So they're tolerating these foods. It's like humans. We're tolerating eating these artificial foods. But we're not tolerating eating meat. We love eating meat. We always want to eat meat. That's why they put cheese on pizza. It's the cheese you really want, not the pizza. The pizza is just a piece of cardboard made out of smashed seeds. It's made out of tree bark. Like, what's the health benefits of bread? None. Zero. And if anything, it causes bad health because it converts to sugar. A bunch of things.
do know that high intakes of saturated fat from red meat specifically does appear to increase the risk of heart disease by increasing trimethylamine and oxide.
Yeah, she's only good at regurgitating fake information that they put up. But it's already been debunked. They say that red meat is associated with longevity and it can protect you from cancer. So I don't know what studies she's using, because this video is 2 years old. But this came out recently. Remember the new studies by Harvard? So whatever she's saying already has been debunked by science. And then she says, new development, the novel therapeutic perspectives for vitamin C. The meat has vitamin C in it.
It also goes without saying that a meat-only diet can only display...
But that's not what causes scurvy. What causes scurvy is a lack of some amino acid. An amino acid, you're not getting these amino acids. And plants are deficient in amino acids, the essential ones. They're deficient. So if they're deficient and you're not eating meat and you're out somewhere in the sea or something, I don't know, and you run out of meat, you start eating these potatoes all day or something, there's a deficiency in this, like, whatever, this, amino acid, you're going to get scurvy. See what I mean?
It's like really important nutrients like fiber, vitamin C, and other antioxidants that are...
You don't need fiber. Vitamin C, there's vitamin C in plants. Are these the only thing that these stupid plants have, Abbey? Fiber and vitamin C. You don't need fiber. You can't digest it. It just ferments in your belly. Everybody knows that. You probably know that too. And then you just shit it out. And it causes gas. And as far as vitamin C, there's vitamin C. If that's all it has, well, meat has vitamin C. So is there anything else that it has besides vitamin C and fucking fiber? Because I don't see people eating their cotton shirts because it's made out of fiber. If they get hungry, let me cut up my shirt and eat it.
Largely found in plant-based foods. And we know that a diet...
Largely found in plant-based foods. So fiber and vitamin C, that's it? That's it? Well, guess what? There's no deficiency in nutrients in meat. It has all the essential amino acids, which plants do not have. And you can't even absorb because they're anti-nutrient. And man, so what if it has C or E in there? That's whatever. Meat has that and more.
Completely void of fiber can have negative implications for our microbiome, while low intake
What? It can have a what? An effect on your microbiome if you have a deficiency in fiber? We're not cows. We don't eat fiber. We're not ruminant animals. We're not ruminant. I don't know what you're talking about.
of antioxidants like vitamin C carries increased risks to health. But according to Jordan Peterson, the lack of vitamin C from the carnivore diet is a non-issue, which
The lack of vitamin C in the carnivore diet? There's no lack of vitamin C in meat. What are you talking about? She's fabricating this stuff. You see that? She's making this stuff up on purpose.
brings me to claim number 2.
Yeah.
You don't need vitamin C.
I don't know. You do need vitamin C. It's in meat. Who says you don't need it?
I would assume that you need phytonutrients. I would assume you need vitamin supplements.
Like vitamin C, for example.
Yes.
Turns out if
You don't need supplements when you're on a carnivore diet. Well, carnivore. Listen, you don't need supplements eating meat. It has all, they got me saying it too now. You don't need any vitamins because there's no deficiency in any nutrients in meat.
you don't eat carbohydrates, you don't need vitamin C. Who would have guessed that?
How does that work?
Vitamin C is necessary for carbohydrate metabolism.
Not quite. Like most vitamins and minerals, vitamin C serves more than just one function in the body. So, for example, it's involved in collagen and neurotransmitter production, immune function, wound healing, iron absorption,
Yeah, and it's all found in meat, Abbey Sharp.
and it's also anti-inflammatory due to its antioxidant properties. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't knock the importance of vitamin C as strictly just a metabolizer. Plus, vitamin C is actually involved in protein metabolism by playing an important role in the synthesis
No, really? Well, I guess it's in there. It's in the meat. That's why it's doing that. Yeah.
of collagen, L-carnitine, catecholamines, and other proteins.
Yeah.
This is why vitamin C is essential for wound repair and healthy brain function, along with a
Yeah, and it's all in meat.
ton of other things. With that said, what happens when you're not getting any vitamin C from the carnivore diet? Well, of course, this would have immunological, cognitive, and dermatological consequences. And in extreme cases, you could develop scurvy, which results in
You're not going to get scurvy if you eat meat, but you will get scurvy if you eat plants. Plants are deficient in many things. They don't even have B12. They're deficient in many nutrients. I don't know what she's talking about. There's no deficiency in meat, Abbey Sharp. You haven't posted any proof that meat is deficient in any nutrient. It is not deficient. But guess what? There's proof that plants are deficient in these nutrients, and it's anti-nutrient.
symptoms of fatigue.
They have oxalates, they have these polyphenols, these lectins, all these nasty toxins. They're sprayed with toxins. They have arsenic, they have cyanide in them, and they have all these toxins. It's ridiculous. What the hell is she talking about?
Fatigue, inflammation, depression, and in some cases, even
Yeah, that's what plants cause. Inflammation, depression, all that. Meat doesn't cause that. There's no inflammation or anything like that or depression. We talk about. Jordan Peterson said when he started eating just meat, when he eliminated those foods, all that depression and everything went away. So what are you talking about?
death.
Maybe it's none of my business, but if you eat 3 pounds of steak every day, you're gonna die.
However, proponents of
I love that one. If you eat 3 pounds of healthy steak that is not deficient in any nutrients, you're going to die. Really? Oh, what should I eat? Oh, you should eat these plants that are deficient in nutrients. So you will die. Get it? You will die. That's why they have the vegan compilation. Those vegan compilations say it all.
the carnivore diet argue that you can apparently obtain enough vitamin C from a meat-only diet to prevent scurvy. And while they're technically not wrong here,
That's not why you get scurvy. You get scurvy because you have a deficiency in amino acids. Any deficiency in an essential amino acid, you're going to get scurvy. See what I mean? She's wrong. She doesn't really understand science.
since research on Inuit communities suggests that one can obtain vitamin C from animal organs and raw meat, you would have to eat a lot of meat. So, for example, you can eat 7
No, that's not true. You need very little vitamin C. You don't need a lot of vitamin C. She hasn't even explained how much vitamin C does the human body need. Well, she doesn't give any evidence. She just makes up stuff like, you need a lot of vitamin C. Okay, how much do you need, Abbey Sharp? There's no evidence. There's nothing here. She's not providing any evidence in her videos. She's just making up stuff.
170 grams of raw beef liver to get a pathetic 10 milligrams of vitamin C, or...
But why do you need 10 milligrams? You need, as far as I know, you need micrograms. You don't need 10 milligrams of vitamin C. You need micrograms of this vitamin C.
You can take a single bite out of an orange. Your choice. So while carnivore dieters may have hacked their way into preventing scurvy by eating more organ meats, it's very unlikely that they would be hitting the 90 milligram daily vitamin C recommendation, which you can get.
Again, that's not why you get scurvy. You're getting, because, look, the vegan compilation, they suffer from scurvy eating plants. They're eating fruits and vegetables. They're even eating them raw. They are suffering from scurvy. And they have there's vitamin C in there. So Abbey Sharp is wrong. Why are they suffering from scurvy? Why are their gums receding, their hair falling out, and a bunch of stuff? And their teeth coming out? Because they're suffering from scurvy, these vegans. Why is that? Because there's a deficiency in what? Amino acid. So it has nothing to do with vitamin C. She's fabricating this crap
in like half a bell pepper without inadvertently throwing everything else out of whack. Lastly, proponents of the carnivore diet are quick to rag on.
See, she thinks that's the only thing that we need is vitamin C. But she's quick not to mention that there's deficiencies in amino acids and other nutrients in the so-called vegan diet, plant food diet, whatever, these plants. And then you get scurvy, because if you don't eat meat, you'll get scurvy because there's a deficiency in nutrients. Get it in these plants, bro. That's why the vegan compilation is very popular. It's there to educate you that there is deficiencies in these plants and you're going to die.
Vegetables for their anti-nutrient properties. Jordan Peterson never explicitly spoke.
Yeah. They have anti-nutrients in them. What are they? Oxalates and things. The toxins are the anti-nutrients.
Spoke about this on the podcast app, but I do really want to quickly debunk this since we're all here. And
yes, I can't wait to hear this. Please do debunk it.
Does come up quite often. Now, it is true that some vegetables, legumes, and whole grains
I love it. She admitted to it. Some
contain anti-nutrients that reduce the absorption of.
There you go. So why would you eat them if they have anti-nutrients in them, Abbey Sharp?
Some vitamins and minerals. But in general, anti-nutrients are not a major threat to our health, and the foods that contain them also contain...
They're not a threat to your health? You just said that there was a deficiency, so that must be a threat.
Beneficial nutrients like fiber, vitamins, and
Fiber is not a nutrient. What the hell is she talking about? Fiber is not a nutrient. You do not need fiber. Christ. You can't digest fiber. She's really insane, this lady. And it's again the nutrients in plants, they're deficient. And they're anti-nutrient.
Antioxidants. Plus, a lot of the anti-nutrient content contained in certain foods is also greatly reduced just by cooking them. Ah, yes, civilization has its perks. So, moving on to claim number 3, carnivorism can cure anxiety and depression.
Quit eating.
Yeah, when you when you're not deficient in any nutrient, you're not getting these plants that are fucking interfering with the absorption of these nutrients, then yes, you'll be a normal human being again. That's for sure. I wouldn't doubt that. But Abby wouldn't know that because she's abnormal.
Greens. And I thought, oh, really? Jesus, Michaela, I'm eating cucumbers, lettuce, broccoli, and chicken and beef. It's like I have to cut out the goddamn greens? It's like, try it for a month. Okay, within a week, I was 25% less anxious in the morning. Within 2 weeks, 75%, and I've been better every single day. I'm better now, probably, than I've ever been in my life, and I haven't been taking antidepressants for a whole year.
Listen, what works for one person's mental health is...
He actually looks really good now, ever since he's been eating meat. His facial feature, everything, just looks much better, healthier.
Is not going to work for another. So I will never belittle someone.
I love this one. Works for him will not work for another. So what What works naturally will not work for other human beings because they should eat unnaturally. Is that it? Okay.
Lived experience. But
Sure.
what does the data say? Well, there was really
the
only
data.
one retrospective study on the
Does
carnivore
anybody ever listen to their senses anymore? You know what I mean? Come on. Jesus.
diet, which used self-reported data, aka pretty much the biased bottom of the barrel when it comes to study design quality. But anyways, so any effect that the carnivore diet may have on mood disorders like anxiety and depression is largely anecdotal and not evidence-based. However, we do have some research on the effects of the keto diet for depression. And given that the carnivore diet is essentially like a higher protein version of the keto diet in that it eliminates carbs and puts the body into a state of ketosis, it does give us a better idea of what might be going on neurologically. So
why do you need to do any of these things, this ketosis and all that? Why do you need to do any of that? Just do what's natural, that's it.
So research suggests that the keto diet may help to improve symptoms of anxiety and depression.
Again, diet is something fake, it's man-made, and it's a behavior.
By increasing circulating levels of the neurotransmitter GABA, which plays a key role in managing stress, anxiety, and mood. However, more research is needed to fully understand this mechanism before we can recommend the keto diet as a legitimate treatment for mood disorders. And even if we did have more research to
Abbey Sharp is like the Jason Blaha of the fitness industry. Yeah, she's the she's the Jason Blaha of the nutritional industry, sorry. She's funny, man. This lady really is nuts.
Recommend this as like a possible adjunct therapy. It would never be recommended that you only eat meat. There's really nothing miraculous.
It's not recommended that you only eat meat. Want to know why? Because you won't buy any of these other fake products and spend your money so we can steal your slave money after you went to your slave work, your slave job, you got your slave money, and then you went to your slave store to buy your slave food diet and then poison you so then you could go to your slave dentist and doctors and pharmacies and everything else that comes along with it. Yes.
About a ribeye steak that will cure your depression.
What's not in a ribeye steak that will cure your depression? It's not the ribeye steak that's curing the depression. It's the elimination of these toxic foods that is getting rid of the depression. Get it, Abbey Sharp? Wow, she must be really stupid not to understand this. It has nothing to do with the meat. It has everything to do with him eliminating these toxic foods. Get it? Get it?
You would still be able to eat a variety of other keto-friendly foods other than meat, like vegetables, nuts.
Why would he want to do that? Why do you have to do that? Why do you need those foods? You never really gave anything other than vitamin C, and I think you said that fiber is some sort of nutrient. It's not a nutrient, and you don't need it. It doesn't do anything but clog up your stomach, clogs it up, and you're just fermenting and causing gas. You're causing the destruction of the ozone by farting. You're adding to it.
Seeds, fish, and dairy, and you'd probably be happier if you weren't constipated or losing your teeth due to scurvy or malnutrition.
Right, and that's the vegan compilation. They suffer from scurvy. They're losing their teeth, their gums, and their hair. Just go watch it. Why are they losing that? Because of deficiency in amino acids. Get it? It's deficient in amino acids. They have vitamin C in those foods. So why are vegans, the vegan compilation, why are they suffering from scurvy? Ask yourself that question. See what I mean?
No, not today.
In fact, research suggests that a diet rich in fruits and vegetables is associated with a lower risk of depression. So
yeah, but there's a higher risk of scurvy. And not just a higher risk of scurvy, there is scurvy. They get scurvy and then they drop off. Yeah, because they have a deficiency in nutrients and amino acids. Has nothing to do with vitamin C.
Well, yeah, the logic here just doesn't check out. But back to Peter.
No, the logic doesn't check out. All of his problems went away, but it doesn't check out because he eliminated these toxic foods. And all of a sudden, he became healthy. All he did was eliminate and stay as a carnivore. He just stayed eating meat as a carnivore. And he eliminated all these other foods. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? And so all of that went away. But according to Abbey, that's not a good thing.
For a hot moment, because I do find that his testimony is very powerful. So what could possibly explain his unique ability to get off his meds? Well, honestly,
easy. You want to know what it was? When he stopped those toxic foods, when he eliminated them, that's what got him off the meds. Get it? Because the meds were temporary. They were masking the problem. Because your doctor's not there to cure you. He's just there to deal with the symptoms. He just writes prescriptions. He doesn't tell you what to eat or do.
There's a lot to be unsure about in the world of mental health research, but one thing is...
Yeah, and any animal that eats something that is not their diet, they're tolerating it, but it's not what they're supposed to be eating, will suffer. Yeah. And here's the thing, if animals eat these things that they're not supposed to, and they are suffering, it will be passed on to you when you eat them. That's another problem. And anyways, I mean, they're inoculating these animals with all kinds of shit. You know, it's nasty.
Be clear that the placebo effect is real. We have lots of...
I love this one. The placebo effect is real. Yeah, it's going to really kick in when you start losing your teeth and hair and everything else and your gums on a vegan diet.
Compelling evidence on the power of placebo for anxiety and depression, because a positive placebo experience...
Christ, she's one to talk. Have you seen her crazy videos where she's just screaming of depression and taking pills, doing all kinds of weird shit? She's got all kinds of psychological problems.
Can increase mood neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. And despite a lot of heated controversy and debate, we even have studies to suggest that placebo medication may actually produce the same effect as actual antidepressant pharmaceuticals. Now, another potential explanation here...
Why would you need pharmaceuticals? Think about it. Nobody had any pharmaceuticals in the last 100,000 years. In the last 100,000 years, they've been eating animals, hunting and eating them. They didn't have any problems. Why now all of a sudden? Why in this artificial environment? Why do you need health food stores? Why do you need pharmacies? Why do you need any of these things? Here's the thing. The problem is this. Once you eliminate these foods and you as a carnivore just eat what you're supposed to, then none of these things can exist. You understand me? They cannot exist. Doctors will not exist. You don't need these scientists. You don't need the pharmacy. You don't need their drugs. Fuck, you don't need the dentist or you don't need any of these things. And then guess what? You don't need money. You don't need money. You don't need a job. All you need is a spear and go out and hunt for animals. That's about it. The only thing you need is shelter. Shelter and animals. That's it. You don't really need anything. But people think they need all these things. You don't need anything. They're like, I got to go shopping because I went to my slave job to make my slave money because they want me to go buy these things. I need all these things. You don't need anything. They just made you believe that you need all these things. You don't really need anything. What do you need? Nothing. You need air, the sun, nature. You need nature. You need water and food. And it's all available out in nature. It's all free for the taking. You understand me? It's self-renewal. But in this artificial environment, they want to make you believe, they have brainwashed you into believing that you need all these things. And in fact, you don't need anything. That's just ridiculous.
Is that Peterson's autoimmune disease made him uniquely and legitimately sensitive to a number of different foods, which...
No, his autoimmune disease woke him up. You understand me? His survival skills kicked in. And eventually he eliminated that which was causing him all these problems. And that happened to me myself. I started eating these plants trying to see if they would do something, make me better. And in fact, they made me worse. And then my senses kicked in and I eliminated them right away. And the first thing I did was just eat meat. And then I started eating a lot of animal products like crazy. Yeah, because your senses as a human kicks in, but most people don't listen to their senses. They will die eating this food. They will go to their death. You understand me? Eating that shit. Just for their crazy cause. Whatever that is.
He effectively removed due to the nature of his very restrictive diet. And that brings me to
I love this restrictive diet. I don't find it restrictive because all animals, they eat what they're supposed to. Is it restrictive? Cows eat grass. Is that restrictive? Dogs eat meat. Is it restrictive? I don't know. So we shouldn't restrict ourselves. We should just put anything in our mouth. Is that it, Abbey Sharp?
next point. Claim number 4, carnivorism cures autoimmune diseases.
No, carnivorism, man, just eating meat doesn't cure it. What cured it was the elimination of these toxic foods. Christ, what fucking part does Abbey Sharp not understand?
Psoriasis disappeared. I've had gum disease since I was 25. That's been serious enough to have, I've had to have minor surgical interventions, scraping and that sort of thing to keep it at bay. It's gone. I checked with my dentist before this last tour. No inflammation.
So, as I discussed in my video on downshiftology, which you can watch right here, autoimmune diseases are complicated as but simply put, an autoimmune disease is a condition where the immune system attacks part of the body that it mistakes as foreign, even...
Yeah, foreign. It's attacking. It's, man, it's caused by these toxic foods, which he eliminated. That's why he's not suffering from them anymore, Abbey Sharp. Here's the question, Abbey. How come he's not suffering from any of these autoimmune diseases anymore ever since he eliminated these foods, which you say are so healthy, these plants and fruits and whatever? Why isn't he suffering from any of that? Want to know why? Because he eliminated it. That's why.
Though they're otherwise perfectly healthy cells. So the first step in alleviating autoimmune disease symptoms would be to lower the chronic inflammation and ultimately get...
Yeah. How do you lower that chronic inflammation? It's really easy. What causes chronic inflammation? These toxic plants. Plant foods cause inflammation. So when you eliminate them, you eliminate the inflammation. Red meat, nowhere did she ever say that red meat causes inflammation. Or maybe she did, I don't know. But if she did, she's making it up. Meat does not cause inflammation. There's nothing in there that would cause inflammation.
Gut in check to help downregulate this autoimmune response. But because there's no standard diet protocol for most autoimmune diseases, it ends up being a lot of trial and error to be able to kind of like pin down the specific food triggers, which should ideally...
Well, I'm going to explain something to you. In the real world, when you have problems, what do? You eliminate them. You eliminate the problems. That's what you do. That's how you cure your problems. See what I mean? When you go to school, when people are bothering you, what do? You eliminate them. You get rid of them. You understand me? Anything that is not beneficial in your life, what do? You eliminate it. If you have broken shoes or something, things falling apart in your home, what do? You eliminate them. You pick them up and you throw them away. And then the problem is cured. Get it? The problem is solved. So can you solve your own problems? Yes. How did Jordan Peterson solve his problems? By eliminating these problems. Get it? And Abbey Sharp is a problem. So how do you get rid of Abbey Sharp? You eliminate her from your life. Like these friends, bad friends, they cause you problems. What do? You eliminate them. Anything that is not beneficial to you in your life, you should eliminate automatically. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? In other words, if you're on the internet looking at stuff and it's not benefiting you, would you stay there and keep like participating in it? No, of course not, because it's not benefiting you and it's taking up your time. So you eliminate it. Anything that takes up my time and is useless, I eliminate it. Useless things you should eliminate. Intelligent people, when you read the word in the dictionary or whatever, you could look it up in the dictionary. It says intelligence is somebody that knows how to manipulate their environment. It never says anything about education. There's no such thing as education. That is fake. You understand me? In this world, everything is based on your senses, your survival skills, how you survive, your senses. If you listen to them, you'll become successful. But if you stop listening to them, you will become extremely unsuccessful in your life. That's why these so-called successful channels on YouTube, they do very well because they give you nothing. There's nothing. I see a guy like that Monte kid. All he does is stupid videos and laughs all day on his videos. He gives you nothing, but people watch it. Want to know why? Because they love that. They love hanging around things that are useless, because they're stupid. The intelligent people, they don't hang around there. They look for things that are important. They don't want to hang around useless shit. They eliminate them. That's why they say the 1% in the world is rich. The rest are all poor. Why? Why is it only 1%? Because they've eliminated all that crap. That's why.
Be done through an elimination diet under the supervision.
You can only be successful if you eliminate people like Abbey Sharp. Yeah.
Of a registered dietitian. So the fact that Jordan Peterson claims to have effectively eliminated his gum disease and his psoriasis symptoms likely has less to do with anything miraculous.
He hasn't done that. It did it automatically for him when he eliminated those toxic plants. Christ.
In the meat, and more to do with the fact that he's eliminating all.
It has nothing. Yeah, he's eliminated all that which is bad for you.
Other foods, a few of which may be triggering for him. In other words, we don't need to eliminate all vegetables when only.
Why? Why not?
Broccoli and cauliflower are the ones triggering symptoms. A limited diet.
How do you know that those are the only ones that are triggering the symptoms? You may as well just eliminate all of them. There's no point in eating them anyways. And they are all causing the problems, all of them, because they all contain the same thing, oxalates. So what the hell are you talking about? How could they not cause, oh, you should eat some of these instead of these because these are causing, how are you gonna find out which one is causing the problem? You call it what, Abbey Sharp? An elimination diet. Get it? You're eliminating to find out what's causing the problem. But here's the thing. Why take the chance? Eliminate everything that is useless. And you're useless, and so is your information, so is your channel. It's useless.
Especially one devoid of fiber, is the absolute worst diet for a healthy microbiome. And a healthy microbiome.
But why? How does fiber, like cotton, if I eat cotton, it's fiber. How does it make my microbiome healthy? How does it make it healthy?
Is really the key to long-term remission from autoimmune or inflammatory conditions.
One of the hypotheses.
My God, man. That lady's incredible, bro. Holy shit.
That we've been pursuing, and there's some justification for this in the scientific literature, is that
look, I'm not a nutritionist or anything. I don't know anything, okay? I just go off my senses and my survival skills. And my survival skills and senses tell me fake. When I watch Abbey Sharp, fake, bro. Get it? Fake.
Reason that you lay on layers of fat is because the fat acts as a buffer between you and the toxic things that you're eating. And maybe when you...
Yes, that is absolutely true. It's a buffer between the toxins and things. That's why it's laying on that fat. It's kind of like a protection. That's why it starts doing that as well. You start getting fat because it's protecting you, yes. And the toxicity just keeps building up.
Strip out that protective layer, then you're more sensitive to what you shouldn't be eating.
Nope,
yes.
nope,
yes.
no.
Yes, that's true. Yes, that's true because I've lost like Jordan Peterson, I lost a lot of weight when I just went like all out meat. Okay, I dropped some weight, dropped a bunch of stuff. The moment I introduce anything that's fake, if I so much as eat a fucking chocolate bar or anything, or sugar, I break out right away. I have some kind of problem right away, eczema or some bullshit. I'm itchy all over. I get problems right away. So that is absolutely true. So it acts, some of this weight that you're carrying acts as a buffer from the toxicity that keeps coming in from that food. Yes, definitely. I believe that. Yes.
To the drawing board on the hypothesis here, Doc.
Science, damn you!
First of all, your body fat doesn't metabolize food, your digestive system does. Most importantly, your gut. And your gut plays a very important role in regulating autoimmune disease symptoms. But what we most often see in folks with autoimmune disease is a weakening of the integrity of the gut, which often results
Yeah, you want to know what causes that weakening? Those plants, they cause that.
in intestinal permeability, otherwise known as leaky gut. This is why it's so
Yeah, then the plants cause the leaky gut.
important to focus on nutrients that support gut barrier function, like
Okay, so what nutrients support gut barrier, whatever? Which nutrition? Meat. It's not deficient in any nutrients. It actually fixes your gut because now your gut has a chance to heal itself because you've eliminated the things that were causing the problem with the gut. Get it, Abbey? Christ.
omega-3 fats, vitamin D, probiotics, and antioxidant-rich foods. It's also
Okay.
just as important to focus on food variety to support a diverse microbiome. And surprise, surprise, that is not possible on a meat-only diet. With all that said, it's important to
That makes absolutely no sense. Of course it is. Because meat is not deficient in any nutrients. It's not deficient.
note that Jordan Peterson's experience and success on the carnivore diet is highly individualized and likely has to
No, his success in eliminating these foods, these toxic foods, was the best thing that happened to him.
do with severe food sensitivities and intolerances to a lot of the foods that he cut out. And while there is
I love that. She admits it. Tolerances. You're tolerating these foods. I just told you. When they feed grains to cows, that's not their food, but they're tolerating it. And when we feed grains to humans, we're just tolerating it. You're not supposed to be eating it. You're tolerating it. Your body's tolerating it. But it does all kinds of weird things.
a very small possibility that beef is the only food that is well tolerated for him, although
Yeah. Beef is, as carnivores, we don't tolerate beef. It is the best thing for us. We don't need to tolerate it. You understand me? Because that's the food that we eat, meat. Anything else is considered a diet. Christ.
highly unlikely, it's important to keep in mind that one individual's
Like, is she stupid or something? I just don't get this, man. Either she's faking it or I don't know what, man. But whatever. She can't be that stupid.
unusual experience does not build a case for universal adoption. Ultimately, the carnivore diet
Yes, eliminating stuff should. Yes, a universal adoption. Yes. As a carnivore, as a carnivore animal, me and you should adopt that as universal. If these things are toxic and they're causing you problems, you should eliminate them and adopt it as universal. Yes.
is overwhelmingly restrictive, unsustainable, void of essential nutrients like fiber and antioxidants, and
What? It's a void of antioxidants. It's not void of antioxidants. And the antioxidants in plants can't be used by humans. And it's devoid of fiber. We don't need fiber. It's not devoid of any nutrient. I don't know what she's talking about.
increases the risk of negative health consequences like scurvy,
Okay, again, scurvy. It's associated with negative health outcomes like scurvy. What scurvy? Vegan compilation is associated with scurvy. Does he look like he's suffering from scurvy? Abby Sharp is making this shit up. If it was true, then he would already be suffering from scurvy. He just said his scurvy that he was suffering from eating the plants went away. His gums and all that. He was suffering from scurvy, eating fucking plants because they're anti-nutrient.
heart disease, cancer, and poor gut.
Yeah, and what causes that? Plants. They cause poor gut health, cancer, and all these other things. Jesus, man, you don't have to be a fucking genius to figure that one out.
Health. You don't have to be an Abbey stan to know that this is a hard pass for me. So on that note, I'm gonna go eat a banana right
Bananas are the worst thing. It's pure sugar. And they're associated with infertility because they use chemicals on them that are nasty. You should check my community section. I posted it there.
now. That is all that
There are people suing in Central South America because they were poisoned by these American people, these American owners of these farms, by putting these crazy chemicals in there. I forget what it's called, BDPT or some shit. It's crazy.
I have for you guys today. Thank you again.
Yes, enjoy your toxic banana filled sprayed with all these toxins and everything, and it being pure sugar is just going to spike your insulin. I'll see you in the next one. Causing glycation. Yes, eat more sugar. Cause more glycation, accelerated aging, Abby Sharp. That's why you have to try to keep yourself together. You're still young, but as you get a little bit older, it'll accelerate so fast. When you reach like a certain age, it's just going to accelerate like crazy, the aging. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. She's ridiculous.